Genie grind, I wish I'm getting rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucking gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit but feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100.
Hello world, I am What If Studia, and today we are continuing What If Naofumi was summoned by the elves. I'm liking this music. Let's start off in a little bit different of a place. The rest of the warriors walk into the training room, dragging away the prince as they rapidly try to heal him. However, some of them mutter about how their spirit power has been low of lately, which gets some scorns to it, however is understandable. It's not in their control most of the time. It's in the spirits. They bring him to the special spirit realm. Right next to Yggdrasil, the tree that protects them all, there is a garden that protects it, around it, containing all the spirits that come to the mortal plane to help them. Naofumi feels bad about this. At least that's what Lily tells him he should feel. So he obliges and walks along with them, recovering himself too. He had to pull out knowledge from his own world, which was unknown to these people. They must think he's a monster for using it. They might even possibly consider him an enemy now. He has to be calm and not think that way. So he doesn't. She pouts about him immediately fighting somebody, right as he gets here, and how aggressive he's being. However, he says, "Where have you been this whole time?" A flashing thing starts to come up on his screen. "You have unlocked the secret quest, the Rogue Warriors Kingly Order, an ultra secret quest that has only happened to only one person, you. This quest has unknown rewards. However, you will get a summons as a reward indefinitely. The rest of the rewards are unknown. Unlike the rest of the quests, which were pretty normal and had a sort of brown-looking outer realm of it, this one's rim was purple and uncertain. It seemed like it was mythical compared to the legendary quests that you'd get for killing the Demon King." "He was ordered to by the king?" "Yes, you dummy. That prince was that was a princely order. He was ordered to try to fight you, obviously, and see your power. He only told you that he would kill you so that you would fight him seriously. You weren't supposed to kill him." "I didn't kill him. He can still be healed." As they enter into the garden, its natural beauty is so mysterious. It reminded him of the spirit forest, the spirit realm. That returns his memories to back then, when he was still thinking that he was dead. It almost ran shivers down his spine. He can't think of that now, however. The man is being healed over by the people, as hundreds of warriors from the clan. There was only 100 of them, as they all came to save their best wishes to him, as the healer stuck by, their sisters most likely. "Why is there so little of them?" he asks Lily. She says that most women in childbirth die. It's even worse for high elves. However, the ones that are born are said to have great wills installed to them immediately. So what you're saying is that they have to survive or die, right? Because if the mother dies, then they are the only hope of the family. That is correct. We take great pride in it. However, Naofumi feels weird in the place, like it doesn't accept him, doesn't want him there. He looks around, but Lily takes his hand and brings him over to the man on the floor. Listen, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. As he barely lifts up his head, unable to move the rest of his body. The chief says, "No, it was a good fight. I respect you. I did not when you first came here. That was by summons of the king. You see, no one here really trusts your power. They think that you'll let us down just like the other heroes. Since none of them wanted to stay around and always just got caught up in trying to kill the Demon King, they never helped us, so we had to help ourselves. But you instead actually listened to us. And when you were summoned to our realm, you immediately came to us, like a golden savior. I respect you as a warrior, good sir. That's the highest." And she bumps his shoulder and says, "That's the highest praise that you can get from an elf." He says, "Well, thank you. However, this plane, it's so weird, right? It's been weakening just around now, and the whole place seems to be in shambles. My father's been looking into it, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. As Naofumi gets an idea from the thing that he would be summoned in a little while. He then realizes that to be summoned, he needs to focus. Something in his mind just clicks about that, like the world was giving him knowledge that he had never known before. He checks his little menu that he has never used. He cloaks it inside of his shield just in case he needs it in the middle of combat. He had gained the skill of Holy Strike, and also Bash with his shield. His shield was an unknown special one, infused with some holy magic because of its experiences. It had somewhat been damaged from his scars, and the scar on his cheek also came with a passive, and his whole body was in itself a passive. He knew all this, however, his mission had changed. Wait for summons. He then sits down on a nearby hill inside of the garden, everybody looking at him in curiosity. He closes his eyes. Suddenly, a white realm is shown in front of him. It's just like it. He opens his eyes again, however, he is in a separate plane. One of spirits, as they all gather around the gigantic tree, trying to heal him as fast as they can. They're in frantic motions. They don't know what to do. As Naofumi makes his presence known, the rest of the fairies start berating him with insults and different such. He's like, "I didn't come here to get insulted. I thought I was going to be rewarded." "Rewarded for what? You killed our king!" As he says, "I didn't mean to kill him. He wouldn't let me revive." "You idiot. Everybody has to go through that. You don't just kill everything in your way." As the king says, "Let me see him," in a weak, cindering voice. The fairies unclouded from his face, allowing the tree to meet eye to eye with Naofumi. "You who have scarred me so badly, I have been in eternal pain since what you have done to me. I understand your rage. And may I say, I understand it. Thank you. That's all I wanted. However, it pains me so much to live like this. I am slowly dying, unlike you, who is undead, and can only be harmed by destroying your brain. I will die soon. When that happens, this whole place will be in mighty danger. For that, I wish to give you my power.
What do you mean, old man? Old man. I have lived for millennia just to get called old man by a man who's been tortured. What I'm saying here is that I wish to become nothing but cinders. You see, in the spirit realm, you are allowed access to your greatest magic, allowed your soul to take prospect. Magic is nothing but reflections of the soul, of the power that you have gained. Spirits and the like are undead. There are our ancestors giving us power, or us using them, whether forcefully like necromancy or through processions like normal magic. You have such a disdain for human life. You seem to hate everything about it. I have been through a lot. I can feel it inside your soul. That is why your symbol is cinders and ash. You want to reflect your pain onto others. That's horrible. You are the makings of a true horror. But you fight for your friends. You fight to survive. And I can tell an anger so harsh, so down belief that you will kill to defend what you love. What about it? I know I have that. That's why I was fired from the military.
King!
No. I will die soon. I wish to give you my last essence. I will die, but you must defend these people. They are good. They have their traditions and it's weird. But wouldn't you say the same for your own country? I would. Good. That's... Please, take my power and wield it so that you may defend and not kill. I wish for you to never use my power to kill. Never. Understand? I have an exception. No exceptions, Naofumi.
As suddenly, like a image pops up, glitching out and just fizzing. Its color is unknown. Its rarity is so high that it's completely fizzing out, in and out.
You should be seeing an exception box in front of you.
Naofumi is confused as he looks up to the man, like he knows. And the king says, yes, I have lived through the resets too, just like the elves.
So, will you accept? But how do I accept?
The mission, the calibration board in your brain that has been installed into your soul can only tell those things that are already pre-organized. I am an enigma that has passed down generation to generation of power. I will not be revived when this world resets. As such, I wish to live on in you, no matter where you are. For easy storage, I shall be taking place in your shield, your holy shield. The cross? As he looks to his left to see the cross on his back. Holy shit, I didn't even realize. Will you accept or no, hero? Yes, I will. It's a shame. So this is how you're going to get me to let go of my revenge. Seems that you have seen past my premonitions. As he starts to sap away and turn, as the tops of his trees turn to flakes and cinders, the world seems to calm to a slow, steady. As he just turns to nothing but cinders. Soon, Naofumi, I can only see the small spirit waving goodbye to him with a happy look on her face, and yet sad. She really did love the king. Naofumi returns back to the real world, his sweat pulsing down his brow. The rest of the elven people look at him with mysterious glances coming towards him. However, once he opens up his eyes, they seem to scatter and hide behind rocks, like he was some sort of Muhammad. He looked down to his left and curious about why they look so scared of him, and sees his shield radiating in a bright white. The cross became holy, its pristine edges now lacquered with the white paint. Looks like he really did help me. Nice. He stands up as he shuffles it around, but then he can hear crackling and falling as the tree finally is dying. Now he can hear thuds coming from the forest behind him. It's it sounded like something massive was trying to get in. Something almost dragon-like in size. Naofumi says, "Your warrior's right," as he backs up slowly, turning his back to the elven people, staring as the tree starts to be ripped apart. A bony figure comes out. Finally, after 3 months, I have broken into the elven security. Now, Bone Dragon, as he holds up his arm, petting the massive figure's head of a dragon. It looks like it finally gained it to its final form. An ancient dragon's bones were infused into it. Slay them. Kill them all. I'll go after the king. As then, the undead dragon holds up its breath as Naofumi looked to the rest of the elven people, saying, "Run for your lives!" as it breathes out its harsh and blackened breath. It sprays down onto his shield as it arcs into 2 different directions, him splitting through the waves. What the fuck is this? It pushes him back farther and farther into the ground until he's ankle deep. The massive crater that has been left around him burned off the extremities of his body. As he slowly regrows back his arm and his leg that had been caught up in the fire, the shield was almost all that was left of his right. What the fuck? Damn it! Why did I have to do that? As the lich is carried off by the dragon, and it says, "No, you stay. I'll take care of the king." As then the dragon flies back down and plants its feet into the ground, readying up another breath attack. His cross already blackened, it seems to revive back to white, pure white.
Well, his power that has been left in the shield is enough, maybe, to hold him off for a few minutes. As then it fires a massive blast, he says. He looks back into his menu bar, seeing the Holy Defense, a skill that he had recently acquired. Holy Defense! As suddenly the cross gets even bigger and bigger, almost to 20 feet in length and 40 feet tall. It's massive as it blocks all the fire breath, stopping him in complete absolution. However, he feels like he's about to throw up. Is this MP consumption? Something that only Lily had told him about. As he throws up onto the floor, the dead start to rise around him. What is this? Tens of, ancient elves start to rise from the graves. As they all crawl on him, he backs them away from him, using casting that holy protection around him. The effect was still on him, not allowing any undead to barely touch him, as they just were destroyed by even touching him. He goes around kicking each one of them in the heads, trying to get them away from him. As the dragon is fired upon by the squadrons of ancient elven fighters, Naofumi has to deal with the dead. And then he looks up to see a rapier coming straight for his face. He dodges to the left, but then is shanked in the stomach by a short sword. He looks up to see the elven princesses, the ones that are Lily's sisters. He backs up, grabbing onto the arm of the princess, dragging her down onto the ground, and then stomping onto her face. "I'm so sorry I have to do this, Your Highness." As then he's immediately hit in the face by the princess's guard, shanked multiple times in his left arm. But then he punches the other one onto the ground with his shield. He's running out of MP to try to heal himself. He starts running as fast as he can, as they shoot arrows at him while running. He then makes it back to his lodgings, along the bamboo tracks. He runs along the trees, dodging and finessing through arrows. However, he is struck by many of them in either of his arm or his leg. As they easily scale the tree, he makes his way up to the king's royal corridors, to see the king that he has been fighting with for so long, struggling against the Lich, fighting with his only son. As the son had been hit off of the tower and was falling all the way down, but was caught by the dragon. He is knocked out, sleeping on top of the dragon as they fight with the people. The king's only help was his daughter now, who then looks to her left to see Naofumi with the two sisters chasing after him. The king now separated from his daughter and Naofumi and the rest of the sisters. The sisters take him down with one shot to his spine as he falls down onto the ground. "Lillian! Don't look at them!" But it was too late. Lily was crying, crawling, and holding her head between her hands, as she had before between those 3 days when he had known her. Were they all out of hope? She was just hobbled there in absolute fear. Her mental trauma was great enough to degrade even the greatest princess. No matter how strong her will was, this was bound to happen. She's just curled up in a ball with her head between her hands, just crying, saying, Don't let them die. I didn't want to let them die." Naofumi looking up at her, a slobber coming out of his mouth. He can't control his body anymore, for it's shutting down. His systems were failing him. His own body was deteriorating rapidly. He was close to out of MP. This is what his body was going through like. He had to help her, to protect her. He grabs onto himself, hoisting himself up on one of the vines, covering his body onto hers, cloaking her like a blanket.
You don't have to do anything. It's fine. It's going to be fine. He holds his arms around her to protect her from the shots, the arrows going straight through him. He hoists his shield onto his back to defend his vital organs and the rest of him. Well, it was only a defensive carcass to defend the princess. You don't have to do anything, he whispers into her ear. It'll be fine. I'll be here, always. You don't have to worry. He's shot multiple times by different arrows. A sword goes straight through his stomach, but he doesn't care. It doesn't reach her. After their assault stops, they seem to go lifeless as they stand there. The body of Naofumi destroyed. Now, over on the other side of the battlefield, at the tallest part of the tree, there's a standoff between the Lich and the king of this forest. I will not allow you to harm my people, Lich. I only want the boy. I know you want more than that. The Lich with his great firepower could set this whole tree on fire. You know that, right? Yes, I understand. I understand your power. And yet you don't fear me? What? It's like you haven't been reset, King. Maybe not. What about it? Listen, we all know I'm going to win. I wouldn't be so sure of that. Demon, look down there. Your precious pet is being destroyed by my son. What? He then looks down off of the misty peak of the great thing. The great tree. He sees it being defeated. He then looks over to his undead princess and her bride. And her guard. It seemed like that, King. So why don't you admit defeat now, before I have to use my spirits? Even if you start a fire, I have the great spirit of water and wielder of the trident. Poseidon, the great king of our nation. Oh, boo-hoo. So what, you use your ancient ancestors as weapons. So what? Clearly you have no idea of the prowess of my kind. So are you going to hit me? Knock me off of here. Spear me. Kill me? I can smite this whole place in one shot. As the king holds up his hand to his chest. Only 10 more minutes. What's that, King? Let me ask you something. Before you die. Why would you hunt down the hero this far? Are you that obsessed? No, I'm not. You see, I was used by the Demon King. So many lifetimes, so many days, so many years. I lost count. I wanted to use others. I wanted them to feel the pain I felt dying over and over. Why do you need to know, King? Do you have a sap story for me, too? No. No, I don't. Good.
Then I won't feel bad for blowing this whole place up by myself.
As he holds back in, his whole body contorts and contrasts into this one malformed shape of a bomb.
This is where your empire ends. The cycle can finally be destroyed. I can come back. And we will fight again. And this time, you lose, King.
The massive bomb that he's turned into. But the king almost just looks down to his spear, transforming it into a trident. He coughs up some blood right before. He throws the spear, breathing out as he does, relishing the moment, bringing the lich to his knees onto the cliff. It wouldn't be enough. The king then jumps at him, tackling the lich, throwing him off of the top of the tower. As they slowly fall together, he starts to burn up, almost like he's in the atmosphere. The king looking at his empire from the greatest view. He's turned to cinders as he watches his whole world be trusted into the hands of the next generation. He looks and sees Naofumi on the edge and the cusp of death. But he sees him smile and then see him look into his eyes as he falls. I enjoyed our talks, kid. Goodbye. And take care of my daughter and nation. The king falls down to the deep hole, contorting the ground as he's able to control his empire's shape and form, digging a hole deeper and deeper and deeper until they reach even the center of the earth, using spirits to core even farther. Earth spirits help him farther and farther until they let go. The whole nation is quiet as they watch a massive explosion upheave from the land. Fire breathes out from it, and a large vacuum explosion underground. The nation is done. Father, the prince says as he wakes from the back of the dragon. The bone dragon is suddenly released. It still grows rapid. However, it's wild. It has no master. The prince, out of rage and sadness and tears, he throws them all away as he has to be stoic. He has to be for his father, as he grabs onto the reins and forces his hand onto the back of the spirit dragon. With the gloved right hand, he uses summon spirit. He summons the spirit of the bone dragon, taking control of it. It lies dormant until it awakens again with blue eyes. The soldiers stop shooting as they had watched their king fall. They turn back to see the dragon no longer hostile. It seems like the day was won, but with such dark magic. Was that necromancy? The kingdom soon goes into mourning, as all the peoples bow down to one knee. For 5 minutes, every single one of them, crowds and crowds of them, his son, his daughters, and Naofumi, who just lays his eyes to rest. Now, in their mourning, they all gather up together in their local pub, the only one that they had left after all these years, the Anti-Horn. For the rest of it, he doesn't know. But Naofumi wakes up again. In the middle of a bed, a king-sized bed, the king's his own. Lily, sitting to the left of him, where his arm is detached from, it made a perfect pillow for her. She rests her hand between the crevice of his nub, whatever's left of it, at least, and his body. Her beautiful face. There was no tears anymore. She soon woke up. How does it feel to wake up, dummy? She says, "Thank you, Naofumi." "For what?" "You gave me hope. You gave me pride."
How'd I do all that?
As they both sort of get comfortable in the bed, even more than before. She says, "Back when I was with my sisters and they were staring at us, I saw you crawl over to the edge as they were done. After holding me, I realized that you were fearless. You could get over such pain, such trauma. Then I could too. I stood to my sisters. They stared into me. They were coring through my soul. I realized that there was no reason in having so much pain. Sure, it was traumatic. It was horrible. It was horrible for me to stand up. But when I reached out my hand to see if they were real, I placed my hand onto their shoulders. As they suddenly started to flicker away into ashes, fire brimmed up behind them. They smiled. They smiled at me, Naofumi. Naofumi now looks to her eyes. That's great. I'm not over it, though.
Of course. I wouldn't expect you to be.
You're alive, though.
You're alive.
Count our lucky stars, then.
I already have. Sure you have for the both of us. Now, shall we get some extra beauty sleep?
Perhaps.
Together.
Thank you so much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. And one of my longest episodes ever. Probably my longest. I'll be seeing you guys sometime somewhere in the next one. Goodbye.
Genie grind, I wish I'm getting rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie when I made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit up, I feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100.